Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and I got some breaking news that I needed to discuss. The Las Vegas Raiders are moving on from 7th round pick Nesta Jade Silvera. He was waived today by the Las Vegas Raiders. On top of that, the Raiders are also going to be moving on from cornerback Troy Pride from the practice squad. I said yesterday that the reason why I could see the Raiders moving on from Nesta Jade is because they went out and they signed the gigantic Marquan McCall to the practice squad yesterday. He is a 380-pound nose tackle, an absolute mountain of a man. And funny enough, Graf, Wasted, and we talked about it even yesterday on their show on YouTube. But the big-time news here that I want to be able to discuss is the Las Vegas Raiders have moved on from Nesta Jade Silvera. I know I don't have Jeremy Chuggs with me. He's actually doing some other work right now at Chat Sports, so I just wanted to be able to give you guys a quick little video because to me this is pretty big news. Anytime that you have a player that is drafted in the NFL draft and you decide to move on from them after just not even one season, that's pretty notable. My job here is this, to keep you guys up to date. I promise you, you're going to get a video every single day here on this channel, 366 days in 2024. You might not agree with everything that I say, but I bring that work ethic. I bring commitment to excellence. And if you always look for Raiders news, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. That way, you never miss a thing. So right now, with the move of deciding to move on from Nesta Jade, I mean, he only played in 2 games, and realistically, he's been a healthy scratch for majority of this entire season. But he was also a fan favorite this offseason. Like, I saw all the reports out there. All right, he's starting to play pretty well. He looks good during OTAs. He looks good during minicamp. I thought he played halfway decent even in the month of August. Now, sure, there were definitely times where he looked slow, but the reason why we were at least hoping that he was going to be a successful player for this organization was because of his strength. I mean, I can remember players saying, oh man, pound for pound, he's one of the strongest defensive tackles that this team has overall. And this offseason, we knew that the Raiders' defensive tackle room wasn't the strongest asset to them. Yes, they have gotten better over time. But the biggest reason here why the Raiders are going to move on from Nesta Jade is he couldn't find himself on the football field. Adam Butler has stepped up. John Jenkins, shout out to that old man. He has been able to step up for this team. Bilal Nichols has played well. Jerry Tillery, since Antonio Pierce has taken over, it looks like a totally different player playing inspired football. But now you move on from him, and I do think this kind of opens up the door here for a little bit with Marquan McCall. And you know, some people asked me yesterday, Mitch, it's a practice squad move. He got cut by the Panthers last season. He only had 15 tackles, a rookie. All you're saying to me is everything that I understand. But what I'm going to say to y'all right now that are wondering, why move on from Nesta Jade and go here with Marquan McCall, who is 380 pounds, though I actually talked to somebody yesterday, and they were saying that he actually might be closer to 365. Nonetheless, though, it's a big dude. I'm going to say exactly what I said when the Raiders brought in Jack Jones. If you believe in Antonio Pierce, if you believe in Champ Kelly, if you believe in Patrick Graham, and in this situation, if you believe in Rob Leonard, it's a good move to me. And I'm sorry, Rob Leonard, Patrick Graham, Antonio Pierce, Champ Kelly, they deserve the respect to where if they make a move like this, you got to go, all right, I'm going to trust it. And that's what it's about. Now, I do got to give a shout out to today's sponsor, Prize Picks. And Prize Picks right now is hooking up the nation. And anytime the holidays start rolling in, I always get really excited because Christmas, I'm going to be real, is my favorite time of the year. Hell, there's probably some people watching right now. Looks like, Mitch, you got your Christmas outfit on right now. It's cold here in the Chat Sports studios. But they're doing Picksmas, and when you have Picksmas, they do a whole bunch of different deals all the time. And if you've ever listened to the show and you're like, well, why should I get started? Why should I do Prize Picks? Because if you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS, you're going to get a first-time deposit match up to $100. We're going to be putting that link down in the comments and down in the description of today's show. So please go get started. I won $15 the other day just because of the Monday Night Football game with Philly and Seattle. I played that, and I used one of the kickers, and there was 3 field goals. Like, right now is a great time to get started. Shout out to today's sponsor, Prize Picks. So to me now, again, we're breaking down the news here around Nesta Jade Silvera getting moved on from, and the Raiders still moved on from somebody else from the cornerback spot, Troy Pride Jr., who never really got any time to me. What I am really curious to see, and you think of Marquan McCall, because I think the NFL people, the nation in general, are more recency biased is probably the correct way to put it. But since the Raiders decided to move on from Nesta Jade from the active roster here for the 53-man, to me, Marquan McCall is definitely a name to keep in mind. But I do think that another name that the nation needs to be able to go out there and keep in mind is Matthew Butler, who the Raiders drafted in the 5th round last season from Tennessee. And there's going to be some people out there that probably think it's surprising that they've decided to move on from Nesta Jade because Antonio Pierce was at Arizona State, not when Nesta Jade was there, because Nesta Jade, they didn't overlap, but there's still coaching staff and there's still players that probably there's a connection there of some sort. I mean, it's not a small world at all when you consider both of those teams. But to me, it's between two guys. It's between Marquan McCall, who signed to the practice squad today, but it's also between Matthew Butler. I would like to see a little bit more out of Byron Jones, and if you're Butler, you're going into your 3rd year, and the regime that drafted you, they're not there anymore. You need to go out there. You need to be able to show that you're going to put some balls to the wall, or else you might not have a job next season. Antonio Pierce, Champ Kelly, their job here over the next 3 games. That's why I get so angry when Raider fans are like, oh, these games don't matter. Hell yeah, they do. You want to be able to figure out what some of these bottom half of your roster looks like at the end of the season? Like, sure, I know Devontae Adams is going to make the roster. I know probably 40 out of 53 players are going to make that roster next year. But what about the back half, the 13? You want to win a Super Bowl? You want to go to the playoffs? You need a complete 53-man roster. So for a lot of these dudes right now that are probably between 43 to 60 on that roster, this is the time where they need to go out there and they need to show it, or else they're not going to have a job next season. So I'm really going to be looking at Marquan McCall, and I'm really going to be looking at Matthew Butler. How also, if you missed the news that I put out earlier today, I did a Raiders short, some good news. The Las Vegas Raiders, Antonio Pierce, are expecting Josh Jacobs and Kolton Miller to be able to go up against the Chiefs on Christmas Day. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning into the show as much as you do. If you made it this far, hit that like button. Don't be afraid to share this thing out there. It would be much, much appreciated. Also, because we're talking defensive tackles and Ndamukong Suh, he's going to be visiting with the Miami Dolphins today. So not Raiders related, but defensive tackle related. I'm sure somebody was maybe thinking, why couldn't we go out and get Ndamukong Suh? He's in Miami. I'm going to be live tomorrow for Thursday Night Football. Saints, Rams, little Derek Carr action. We're going to be battling the Saints and got a lot of fun stuff planned for y'all. So tune in tomorrow live. And then I'm also going to be live on Christmas Day. We're going to get the show started an hour early. Raiders, Chiefs, Christmas. Hopefully Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid don't put any coal in my stock. And I'm hoping that Aiden O'Connell, Max Crosby, Devontae Adams lay it to Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. Shit, we've only beaten them 3 times since 2014. It's time to get another dub. It's time to keep this dream alive. I don't want to tank. I don't want to tank. I want to just win, baby. And if you want to just win, baby, spam just win, baby down below. If you made it this far in the video and you want more content here from the Raiders Report, click the subscribe button right here. And then if you want even more videos, Chugs is going to recommend these right here. If you want to click on this, these are going to be the videos that Chugs likes. If you want the videos that my dog Chuck's going to like, then you can click on these videos right here. More videos, more content here on the Raiders Report, videos every single day.